Broadcasting live from the command center located in Jacksonville, Florida, this is Military Witnesses to UAP. I am your host, Shannon Scott. And backed by popular demand, located deep in the Missouri woods, my right-hand man, Rob Heatherly. We both have assumed the duties and responsibilities of continuing the conversation. So, buckle up, hold my beer, hang on, and let's get started with today's briefings. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Rob, how you doing?
Something's echoing with me. I'm gonna mute me.
All right, make sure you don't have more than one window open up. Hey, in the meantime, folks, we have a special guest. It is Shane. How you doing, Shane?
I'm good. Thank you, Shannon, Rob, for having me. I'm excited, actually.
Yeah, the number one rated YouTube channel definitely would be Military Witnesses to UAP. That's the first one I think of.
Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about.
Anytime
I can be with my brothers in arms, you know it.
Rob, you're still muted, son. Hold on. You're muted, Rob. There you go.
One of you two are echoing. One of you are doing a double tap.
Is it me that's echoing?
No, let me look. Test, test, test. Is it me?
Test, test, test.
Let me see if there's a double. Show all windows. It might be me, man. Let me see. I do not have any other window open. Yeah, you guys in the chat, can you tell me if
I'm talking and I'm muted? How about you and me mute, Shannon? Let him talk for a second.
Okay, hold on.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Is it me? So is it me that's echoing? 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not echoing to me. So, Rob, if he's echoing to you, it may be a you problem, and you're on mute still. He's frozen, so it looks like no. Okay, now he's moving. Okay, unmute yourself, because if I do it, then you'll do it, then you go right back to mute again. Hi, Linda. Let me take off my glasses so I can see better here. Yes, I was getting everybody in the room, in the green room, getting ready to go. How you doing, Rob? Are you echoing or you having problems on your end? You're good to go. Okay.
I'm good.
Man, I got some news this evening. Stand by because it deserves its own little. Here it is. Here it is. Rumor has it, if anybody follows this guy on Twitter, and if you're not, you need to be following him, and that is Richard Butt. I just heard a rumor that he may be listening. So if you are, I really like what you say, Mr. Butt, and keep up the good work. If you have any doubts on what you're doing, and just contact Rob and I, and we'll give you a pep talk.
Yeah, we're all pros here. We can fill you in. So,
Remember, no matter how bad it gets, it can always get worse.
Yeah,
for real.
They went through special training, but we've got the Captain Crunch decoder range. So, we're the bomb.
Absolutely. Yeah, like the one off Christmas Story. Everybody watches that, right? I haven't seen the updated Christmas Story, but definitely every time I go over my mother-in-law's house, I'm watching the Christmas Story for the millionth time. It's like a traditional thing, right? That and National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Shitter's Full. Yeah, that guy. But also something big before we get into it today, folks. We haven't kicked off this charity, really. We've talked about it a lot. I've said I've been very appreciative of this for a long time, for a couple of months now, but it hasn't really kicked off. That being said, without even really pushing this thing. And what was it? Day before yesterday, we started getting um, super chats and stuff like
That's on
that.
this show.
Check this out. We have raised $314 without even trying for this year. So, in case you hook us up with a super chat, 100% of it goes to
Wounded Warrior
Shannon
for now.
Scott's, Wounded
Yeah.
Warrior for
And,
now.
and
And we also have a Rob. You wanted to talk about this tax thing right before we came on the air.
yeah, if somebody wanted to make a substantial donation, and it would still go to Wounded Warrior, but they wouldn't get a tax deduction. If they wanted to do something substantial, we'll put the link to Shannon, the Wounded Warrior Project, but it's through Shannon's fundraising effort directly in Wounded Warrior. So then that would generate a receipt back to them, tax deductible. We don't even handle that money. It goes straight into them on his name, but on his behalf. And it goes to where they want it to go. So that's just a good way that people can get a tax deduction for it. So
anybody who donates $20 or more gets one of these mailed out to them. Just all you have to do is, let me come up here in the banners. Bam! Email me at shandscott@yahoo.com. Get me your address. Tell me your screen name, and I'll send one of these out.
Hey, I
These
tell
are
you what,
limited.
Shannon,
These
I'll
are
donate
limited.
$200.
What's that?
I'll donate $200.
Are you kidding me, dude?
No, I'm not kidding you. Last night I went to the casinos and I won $200, and I just donated $250 for my campaign. I'll donate $200 as soon as this is over, unless my wife's listening. Donate $200 now. So I'll donate $200. It goes to where I want it to go. So I'll donate $200.
It's gonna go.
I don't care who does it, where it comes from. I just care where it goes. Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, man. God, every time, man.
But as I say, on this show, maybe afterwards we'll put you went ahead and made a Wounded Warrior Project link in your name also.
Yes, I'm at 1,400 right now.
Okay, we'll put
Good
that in the
Lord.
We'll put that.
That's all for good cause right there.
I only care. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll put it in the description after the show. That way, if somebody wants to donate to on your name, they can do that. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. Same here. I don't. It's where it's going that matters to me. Nothing else.
So if they have a personal preference, we're giving them choices. So I think that's important.
Yeah. Man, I'm speechless.
Not a problem.
Every time someone donates like $10, man, I start having hyperventilating over here.
Well, I tell you what,
oh God!
If I wouldn't have got bored last night, you probably would have had 400. But as I was bored, I gambled the 200 away. I won 400, and then I was like, I gambled 200 away, and I was like, well, I must have won it for a reason, so I'll donate 200. That 200 for sure.
Rob and I were when we met for the first time a couple of weeks ago. We were actually at a casino. But we didn't have time to go gambling. I was too tired.
I was at my son's birthday party. They had that all-you-can-eat buffet. That's what they went. And while we were waiting in that 4.5-hour line, I was like, I might as well just play little games. So,
So I have to ask you about your Nikon P1000. Have you done the conversion for that already that you were telling me about?
Not yet. The only reason I didn't is because. Actually, this is going to be a Wounded Warrior plug. So the same time I got that camera, Wounded Warrior finally fixed my service connection disability, which they screwed up at the pandemic. They literally took everything at the start of the pandemic. Couldn't get anyone to fix it, right? They owed me sub $50K on a back paycheck. Wounded Warrior.
You know, so that same thing happened to me.
I ended up getting my dream camera, which is the Sony Alpha 3 version 2. And I'm, so I haven't got to use it for to convert it to IR. But the thing is, you can't find a camera that has that kind of telephoto without paying, oh man, so much.
I know
that zoom is amazing. So if you do convert it, that's the only reason I still want to convert it, because I don't think I can still afford a telephoto that far.
Relatively, that is a cheap camera. It's got the sensor size is as big as cell phones, but 3,000 millimeter equivalency. It's just, I show people here in the neighborhood, I put it up on a tripod and have people look at it, and it just blows their mind.
Oh, I got mine because of you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And then I just happened to run in UFO Joe's like, hey, I think you can convert those, and sure as crap. That's why when you text me, I was like, yes, sir. Here's where you do it. I just
Oh, wow.
happened to buy my dream camera, which has the IR capability. Now I
Right.
just can't afford the same. The sucks is I can't afford that kind of telephoto zoom. So it's like,
Right.
man, because I mean, that's amazing. It does. It zooms in. So
Yeah.
plus it's kind of crappy and cloudy here. So once summer hits, that's when I'm ready to go back out and do my stuff. So
All right. For those who do not know you, give us your background. How did you get to the position of being on this channel right now? So start to today. Everything
oh
you've done to
wow,
this point.
that is
How'd you get here?
wild. Okay, so that's a wild one. So actually, I we'll say 2001. I joined the military. I got to my first duty station September 9th, 2001. First day of duty was September 11th. So my very first day, I was just kind of sitting there waiting to meet people. Didn't even meet people, and I watched the towers fall. Within like about less than 7 months, I was in Pakistan, Jacobabad, and I was there for about a year. It's really hairy. Now I was POL fuels. Uh, all military is combat, obviously, but you have your duties, and then after
Specialties?
effects, right? Essentially, it was just I was doing that job in some hairy circumstances, and then some not. I mean, a lot of times people know this. It's monotonous. A lot of times, it's that waiting
is.
for crap that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just like all our brothers and sisters, that stuff can be rough. So I ended up doing that first tour there, and I wasn't aware at the time, but it actually affected me a lot more than I was, I guess aware at the time. And then, so my second tour was actually, I was flying missions in and out of Iraq. We were doing what's called aerial bulk fuel delivery systems. So it's just kind of like mobile gas stations. We were delivering so they could fly missions out of different like remote locations, whatever they were using. And it was fantastic. I just, I loved every minute of it. I mean, it was decorated, never got in trouble, no paperwork, not even any LORs, LOCs. And I was proud, and I started getting pretty sick about 2008. And I wasn't aware. I was developing panic and anxiety, and I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Right.
One more tour, which was kind of in support of Iraq and Turkey. And I was doing some
Right.
resource control center. In about 2010, I decided to separate because my wife and family were in Washington State. They lived in Yakima Valley, and I ended up getting out. But I started getting, like I would say, panic attacks, and then nightmares, flashbacks, and then all I could think about was my brothers and sisters. I'd cry uncontrollably. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and it just got worse, And by I think about 2014, I was so sick that I kind of walked away from my family and was living on the streets, using drugs.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I was trying to kill myself slowly, doing my best to
Yeah.
numb
Yeah.
everything, right? And I didn't know why. It helped at the
Those
time,
those who have PTSD don't know they have PTSD until they're kind of
No.
because
And
yeah.
I spent, I think, my wife, God bless her, she didn't give up. My family, the only reason I'm here, between her and Wounded Warrior, smacking me in the ass and dragging me places to in and out. And finally, when Wounded Warrior stepped in, though, they got me some really good care, which was dual diagnosis. So instead of treating the addiction, they're treating the mental health problem that's causing that. Once I was kind of like, oh, it's PTSD. And that's when I started coming on the up, man. I mean, it was still touch and go mentally. But after that, I was so, I guess, aware of how sick I was, that first care treatment, that I actually left that care and I contacted Wounded Warrior again and see if they'd pay for another 30 days and went back. And then I contacted the VA and I did another at least 4 months inpatient with them. They have these social programs and psychosocial because I knew I was sick and I was trying my hardest to get better. But I'd spent a lot of time to go from living the life that I did and to being a 34-year-old who, for the first time, not just broke the law, I was in jail, looking at prison time, I was in institutions for long periods of time. And now, because of Wounded Warrior, I look back and I'm like, I don't know what was wrong with me? How the hell did I survive that?
Yeah.
And I 2020 was the real turning point, right? So This is where it really starts to get wild, guys. I actually left, I think, care for the last time. I just kind of went in for a touch up. I'm really big about mental health. So I kind of like to just, maybe I overdo it, right? But I want to take care of myself. So I left about the end of, I think it was end of 2019, beginning of 2020, pandemic happened. I was feeling good. I had all these plans. You know how it is. You leave, and pandemic was going on. I was stuck at home like everybody else, right? Well, on top of everything else, one of the things I did in Pakistan was burn giant bladders of fuel. I'm a burn pit veteran. No, I had no chem gear. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of gallons of jet fuel. And I'm fortunate nothing that I know of, right? But I was panicked because of the pandemic.
I remember seeing you in one of your timeline photos on Twitter where you're sitting there in the full chem suit and you were making a joke that it was the running thing for them to come and kick you to see if you're still alive.
Yeah.
And you're there doing
I'm still here. Whenever I get in whenever we were there, we get a lot of those alerts or whatever. So chem suits would, I don't know why I can't stay awake on a C-130 or in a chem suit. If I put those on, I pass out. So they're always kicking me to see if I'm still kicking, because I'll just immediately pass out. So we had to, I wish they made us wear those when we were doing the burning, but they didn't. I'd be out there in just the fatigues, right? Burning these 50,000 gallon jet fuel bags that we'd cut up, but there'd be 1,000 gallons or so in there. I was young. I did what I was told, whatever. That's one of the things that scared me. So I spent a lot of time. I didn't want to be out and about. I was worried. For someone who thinks they survived the unsurvivable, to think that I was going to die from a flu or something or whatever really worried me, right? That's what scared me. I'm like, that'd be my luck. I'm just here trying to be this person, trying to fix my life and, do these things that I need to do. So I'd spend a lot of time outdoors. Well, now this is going to say, unbeknownst to the time, I live near Hanford nuclear site, also in Yakima Valley, Washington. So I'd spend a lot of time out there. And this kind of started with me outside, and I'm just looking at the sky watching. For someone who spent a lot of time locked up recently in inpatient facilities, and you could not go outside, I was enjoying my life, being a good person and not having to worry about that. These lights started hitting me, right? When I say hitting me, I'd see a flash of light and I'd see it pulse from one eye and cross to another eye. And every time I could see it and then disappear. I couldn't see whatever it was coming from. So I'm looking around, and then it happened again. And you could never see it from the side, only head on. And you always see it sweep. That ended up turning into, the very next thing I saw looked like I'd be outside at night and it looked like someone lit a match. A giant ball of flame would move up in the sky and just go quick. And so I realized something was up that I didn't know was going on. So I ended up really getting the videography, like trying to record it. So I was going to record it just like everybody. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make the best evidence ever. So
real quick, Shane, what is your hobby right now?
I actually videography,
photography.
Yeah. Videography.
That's my outlet too, man. I love it. I got all type of camera equipment.
Love it.
Oh, by the way, is that a DJI gimbal?
Yes, it is.
I got one exactly like it.
I love it, dude. We need to talk.
Oh, by the way, that sign underneath yours, Rob and I came up with one too. I don't know if you've seen it. It's kind of funny. We going down the same path here. I made this one here. Staying clear of UAP when energized.
Dude, that's cool. I want one of those too. I'd hang up there.
We can hook you up.
Yeah, I was going to copyright that one. No,
you should.
Because I tell you what, 2023. As I said in this, the title of today, 2023, best year yet? ? Special guest, Shane Frakes. So yeah, I wanted to ask you and Rob, what's your forecast for 2023? If you had to guess. Now we just had that bill pass, right? Congressional thing went through. President signed it. It's now into law. So I think some good things are coming.
I do too.
I think there's going to be a lot of staging, waiting to see if they're actually going to how hard they're going to reinforce. Both sides are trying to find out who their staunch allies are, and when you're on the wrong side of the law and the wrong side of history, your assets keep dwindling by attrition, and at some point there's not going to be enough people to make, keep up the kinetic pressure to obfuscate, and that, that wall's going to come down, and
Mm-hmm.
those hardliners are going to, they're not gonna make the muster. Um, this is the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
They're going to sacrifice their careers for it, and I think it's absurd. There are hardliner, evangelicals at the helm. I admire their dedication to our faith, but to say that they're all demons, but we should ignore them, that's not the basic tenets of what their religion teaches them to do. You don't hide from evil and let it. You don't sit down and do nothing while evil is running rampant in the henhouse, so to
Yeah.
speak. So even if they believe that it's all demons, they are admonished to not back away from it. They're supposed to advance toward it. So how is that advancing toward it? It's not.
Rob, I need to interrupt you real quick. We have a super chat from NS. Now, if I remember right, NS donated last time. Wherever I know, right? Let me
Yep, you did.
bell off. It'll just keep ringing and ringing. But hey, thank you for the super chat. That is awesome. It's going to go for a good cause. Go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna tell him to keep, have some patience with the report, because they were waiting to see if, which what how the shifting was going to go in both houses of Congress, and if they could get support. A lot of posturing going on, so they're stalling as long as they can to try and figure out how they're going to do damage control. So they are going to be forced to come out with it. It may not be a blockbuster, but between that and the testimonies they're coming forward, the direct evidence is going to start rolling into these intelligence committees, and it's just a matter of time. I predict next year that the government's going to come out and tell us unequivocally that we're dealing with a non-human intelligence interacting with humanity. We don't understand it yet. We don't believe it's a threat, but we need to get eyes on it enough to understand it, and that they're going to come up with some kind of altruistic excuse that was for public safety, didn't want to cause people to panic, all this other stuff. But some of that may be true. But I think it's everything across the wide spectrum of it. Some of it's power, greed, coveting technologies and things that they don't want to admit exists, and turn it loose to the entire government proper and military and scientific community. They're hindering the progress of human civilization to be able to hopefully better ourselves.
Yeah. Shane, what's your
So,
prediction for 2023?
Well, it's just the beginning for me, so I won't stop, just like you guys. So 2023 is going to be, I think, an even better year, because I think the biggest thing is Mr. Elizondo, started something that helped me beyond. I can't even get it explained. Finding him led me to the fact that I realized, to a point, I mean, from a dark time, right? Because
Right.
he brought this out. He started the dominoes, and I think they're gonna fall. They have to. When people such as ourselves, Ryan Graves, Alex Dietrich, when men and women of honor, and then other people are coming forward and say, "Hey, this happened," the more and more people are going to listen and take notice, as opposed to, right? And so I think I'm grateful to people such as yourselves and Lou, and all these people came forward first, because I never would have realized what I was dealing with. I thought it was something completely different. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so what have you found out so far with the anomalous lights that you started experiencing?
this is wild, guys. First,
I don't know the story, Shane. You're going to have to start from the beginning, dude.
Okay. So we get to the lights in the sky about 2020 that are going up like this, right? Up in the sky. Well, from there, I start seeing plasma balls, orbs, not just seeing, recording.
And where are you seeing this?
I live in Yakima Valley. I'm near
Okay.
Hanford, Washington nuclear site as well. So
Okay.
I start recording all these things. And when I say all these things, I'm seeing these orb thingies that are everywhere I go. When I say everywhere I go, bear with me. Everywhere I go, from my home to the mountains near Rainier, because that's where all of a sudden I just love going to Rainier. I'd record them up there as well. And I would I've also recorded them at Vernal, Utah, when I went to a UFO convention there. At Phoenix, I went to UFO Congress. I saw one while I was there with a friend. And then what's odd is it's continuing. It hasn't stopped. My wife records them, sees them, my kid, on their own together last week. Like we did 4 times, I mean, between the both of us. And then this is where it gets wild. Because of it, because of Lou, I was in a dark time. I was about to take my life at that point. And then I realized it wasn't people harassing me. Everyone thought I was crazy, and they thought I was schizophrenic. When you're literally trying to be your better self and this shit's happening, you don't want to talk UFOs. I had PTSD in the past. Ain't no one want to hear you talk UFOs. They thought I was schizophrenic and stuff. So I was trying to be my best self, and it was actually looking the opposite. So I had to pretend it wasn't going on. I didn't see stuff and that stuff like that. I wasn't recording things. And because I saw Lou, I realized, wait, maybe this isn't people. I thought it was human beings spending money on high-end drones. That's what I was recording, and they were stalking me. That did sound crazy, I imagine. Sounds crazy.
Not really. Well, when you're fresh to this topic, it would. But when you've been around it for a while, not so much.
Yeah, and it was just blowing my mind. So that continued, and it continues today. But it progressed from those orbs to I've seen one triangle craft. I've seen basically cigar-shaped craft at the end, me and my wife and kids, and they were putting on, so going across the sky, different altitudes, different directions, but they pulsed light once, then 3 times, then 4, then 5. Then I ended up realizing it wasn't one, it was multiple. Fast forward to the fact that because of this experience, I met the only people that I know really in my life from UFO Twitter friends, Mike, Toby, Chase, all these people. I end up in a documentary with that Mike's producing, and him and his brother are directing and producing. And it's about experiencers. And as I'm going through this, I end up in UAP Med, where I talk about the fact that there are anomalous injuries and that mental health and medical professionals need to take this topic seriously, because what almost killed me, almost took my life. I had nowhere to go. I had PTSD. I needed to talk to someone, knowing damn well if I went to talk to someone, they were going to put me in a hole. So I didn't. So it was rough. So I do that UAP Med. I find out, wait, this guy's talking about these balls of light in Yakima, Washington, that in this portal the Indian Nation has been talking about for hundreds of years. And I'm like, is he saying Yakima? Mm-hmm. So I find the book, and the book's out of print. It's by Greg Long, Dr. Greg Long. It's called The Earth Light Theory. And I end up finding the book, and it's about Yakima, Washington. I'm in Yakima Valley, Indian Nation, balls of light, portals, just different kind of events going on here. All the stuff I've been recording for years and reporting in this book. And here I am in the documentary with the author of this book the whole time, without knowing he was talking about my experiences. I was bringing video about the location. None of us had connected those two. And somehow I found this book, still didn't connect it. And here I am now knowing, holy crap, that guy was literally writing everything, my story about all the stuff I'm experiencing about this area, the Yakima Indian Nation. Yeah, it's the wildest thing I've ever experienced in my life. So it still continues. I don't even know I can't tell you what it is, guys. I can tell you what it's not, and I can tell you something's here. That's it.
Rob and I are non-experiencers. I've never seen anything. Non-experiencers. I've never seen anything. However, I wish I had. I guess I wish I can or had, but there's a limit to that. There's some experiences people have had, and I don't want anything to do with that. That is just a little bit too much for me. And this is a subject that, I really didn't have a conversation with anybody outside my house until I met Rob. Because if I'm going around saying, guys, I've been studying this since 2017, and there's something to this, even though I haven't seen it, I've read enough books and materials and articles, and I am convinced there's something going on. And then, of course, being a big fan of Unidentified, Lou Elizondo, and this is before I knew him, of course, and I became a big fan of Lou because he came across to me like a patriot, someone who loves his country very much. And yeah, so it's something I've never come across. The story that got me into this. I don't have you.
Right.
Do you ever heard the story how I got into
No,
this?
Shannon, I haven't.
Well, I'll try to be. Really, I've already bored Rob to the point where he just left. Man. He's like, screw this dude, man.
That's like my
He's
wife.
told
She's
this
like, I'm done. Out.
Yeah. So what? No, what happened was I served for 20 years Navy. I served twice on board the USS John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier, but I served in 1998 to 2001 and a year right up to its decommissioning. I was actually in charge of security as an E6 when I was the second time I was on there. And both times that I was on the ship, I heard this story about back in the early 70s, there was a sighting above the ship right after a flight operations. And the lookout, and I used to be a lookout when I was younger in the military. I was a non-designated seaman. Thought he saw God and was freaking out so bad he had to be sedated. And I heard this story different occasions from different people. Now that told me something. First of all, this rumor's been going around the ship for a mighty long time. At the time, I guess it was like 30 something years. We're up to about 50 years now. That this, 51, probably almost 52 years now. Yeah, now 51 years. 51 years of rumors going around the ship. And what happened was, it was like less than a year ago, I actually went on to, let me back it up. In 2017, I put in USS John F. Kennedy in the YouTube search bar because I was looking for the decommissioning video because I didn't get to see it because I was in the office running security. So I wanted to see the decommissioning. So I put it in there and I came across a video from Dr. Stephen Greer. He has a channel called Dr. Stephen Greer, I think. And he had a bunch of interviews on there. But one of them was this crypto dude that served and he witnessed this whole thing, right? And I'm thinking, holy smokes, are you telling me this is for real? That he, basically the entire story he said matched the story that I heard the first and second time that I served on that ship. So there's got to be something to this. So I started investigating, and I copied the URL or the link to the Dr. Stephen Greer's video, and I went on to Facebook group pages and found the veterans of the USS John F. Kennedy, and I said, "Hey, can anybody confirm or deny this ever happened?" And there was a long thread of people saying, "No, that's."
Did you make a video?
Bull. Yeah, I made a video about it.
I know. I didn't place you two in that together. That's how I know you from before I even.
And sure as shit,
with the ball.
Yep, and sure as shit, I came across a sailor who not only witnessed it, he also witnessed the young deck seaman getting sedated by the corpsman. So that got me into it, and I believe, and I could be wrong, that Lou Elizondo talked about it the last time he was being interviewed by Linda Moulton Howell.
That's one of the first videos, like I said, because I trust veterans over most, just a thing.
Yeah.
Your videos was one of the first things too. That I was kind of like, I didn't place the two together. And somebody in chat just said Horse Heaven Hills. I don't know who said that, but they're spot on. That's exactly where. I don't know how they know that. Just might have been by my description, but that's exactly where, and that's pretty crazy.
The stuff that you witnessed, do you have any media, some photos, some videos?
Yes, I do.
I would love to see them. You don't have to show them right now, but
okay, no, actually, I got about 2 years worth of videos, so I'll send them to you. I'll send you. They're 4K 60.
I'm really good at doing video analysis
Oh,
and
I'm not. I suck. No
oh, I got to
patience.
teach you, man. You like photography? I'll teach you everything about editing your photos and videos.
Yeah, I'm just learning
Rob
this.
will tell you I can whip up a video quick.
Nice. No, I'll send
Okay,
you a
so
whole folder full. Like I said, it's still going. Now
hey,
that I
would you?
got my new camera, they should be better now since I got some
Yeah,
IR capability.
like you can do crazy things with Photoshop. Like I took this photo that's very popular in the UFO community, and I just made it look. I didn't change much. I just made it from a black and white to a colored by using Photoshop, right? And check this out, man. That just blows my mind. That's
Yeah,
black and white, but now it's color, and
that's cool.
you can see how this thing affected the ground below it. This is a real image. I believe I put it 99.99% down that it's the real thing.
Yeah.
But I love editing photos. Here, I want to I want to toot my own horn here. This is the one I just edited today. It's called Bridge to Nowhere. Bam! Just
Oh,
pop
that's
those
cool. I
colors
like
out.
that.
And Rob, this is the photo that Rob got for Christmas. Bam! Let me get
Oh,
rid of those caps there. Bam! There you go. So I just
that's nice
love
too.
air shows.
Yeah, me as
Um,
well.
I know, man. I just love air shows.
Actually, the sound, I sleep to the sound of aircraft.
Yeah.
I like the sound of a C-130 on YouTube running. That's how I sleep because I've spent so much time trying to
You,
sleep with the
I do
C-130.
the same thing, but I do it with train sounds.
Yeah.
I was raised on. I went to my uncle's house as a bunch as a kid, so he lived right on a train track. So I have to sleep with distant train sounds. You know.
We had
Anyways,
those.
that's all to their own, and that's just what puts me to sleep is
Yeah.
yes, trains.
That's how you and I met, Shane. Is that you reached out to me on Twitter with DMs and was asking me if
Oh
I
my
could
Lord.
look
I
at your
bet you I
videos
sound like
and
a
see.
fool, Rob.
No, not at all.
So
I've
look,
talked to a lot of people.
Rob's right.
You're
One of the first people I reached out to was Rob. I didn't know what I was dealing with, had no clue.
you
I,
know, and
I
I
wasn't
told
a
you I would
UFO
help, try
person.
and help as best I could,
Yeah.
but
It was
I'm
wild.
not good at analyzing. But I would get it to people that could,
It was
and you were in
crazy.
the midst of trying to get into another Wounded Warrior program.
Yeah.
So I was saying, well, get maybe when you get out, and then we'll jam on this.
I just realized too tonight, Rob, this is how much. So again, Wounded Warrior, guys, super chat here. It all goes the same place, right? Wounded Warrior is important. One of the reasons I ended up having to utilize them this time, not only is my PTSD from combat and my experience, I'm realizing today, I was talking about it today, that it kind of affected me more than I thought, right? I was like, I still get triggered from because of what was going on. I didn't know what it was, and almost the outcome, almost taking my life
Hmm.
because of the intensity of everything that was happening, right? I realized I got really bad PTSD from it. Like things will trigger those really bad memories of that bad
Hmm.
time. Now it's not bad. It's actually trial by fire. I'm thankful. I wouldn't be here right now with you guys, like your question at the beginning, without that experience. I was wilding, didn't know what I needed to figure out how I could give back to my veteran brothers and sisters because I was
Yep.
alive.
Yeah.
Here I am because of my experience.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
Staying alive is the biggest testimony you can do for your veteran
Yeah.
brethren and sisters is by leading by example. So, you know, whatever you've got to do to survive, even for your own sake, but more so, also, it's just as important to set the example for others that might be on the fence, but they hear your testimony of how much you went through and how much you struggled with addiction, the homelessness, all that. You run the gamut, and there's a lot of people out
Yeah.
there that think that their situation is hopeless, but they hear yours, and if you can overcome and adapt from that, then surely
Exactly.
they can.
You know,
Exactly.
you're right. The biggest thing is you have to survive. Sometimes your brain makes you do things you're going to regret, and it later on the guilt's going to kill you. But
Yeah.
when you've suffered from trauma, and this, I always feel like my experience is my trauma makes me pulse like a beacon, and maybe that's how I got their attention. I don't know. Maybe I'm in an area that's a hot spot, and that's the case because now I found, like I said, I found that book. This is a hot spot for that stuff. But I wonder that a lot, and I do my best now. Somebody mentioned in the comments Twitter Spaces. I use that because, again, it's a way for me to communicate. People I met in UFO Twitter. I know it's toxic as hell, people think. Not all of us. Right now, we had a thing going on called UFO Twitter Week for the sole purpose of fundraising for Wounded Warrior Project. A way for me to talk to people about this subject, experiencers, communicate. And lots of people are taking part in it. You know, Astral, we had Randall Nickerson tonight. We had Ben Hansen the other night. Shannon came in and played a freaking sound on. We were all laughing. He accidentally hit a button, and it sounded like he was playing a video game. Shannon, you remember that when you're in the Ben Hansen space?
Yeah,
I
don't know why that happened. That was weird, but it was funny.
It's sound effects.
Tell us about this fundraiser that you sent a video to somebody about.
Oh,
to see if they
yeah.
would jump in
So, look.
on it and help you out, and didn't think they would ever even notice it, or much
Yeah, I
less
didn't.
reply.
So I don't like to bother people, and especially someone who I know is busy and who no good deed for the guy, right? He came out, he helped me in a way and helped a lot of people. They don't realize now, but he had to deal with some stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm going to see if Lou Elizondo will do a space with me as a fundraiser. And then I figured I'd do a video so he knows I'm serious and can look me in the eyes. And so I did it, not thinking anything of it. And then the next day I had a reply and he said yes. And I'm like, oh. I was like, wait. I didn't know he'd say yes. I was like, I almost got like, oh,
Now
what do I
what?
even do? Yeah, I didn't know what to even do. So I was kind of
he's just a normal guy.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
he is, but yeah, I know he is, but still, I'm a super fan of any veteran, so that's just how it is. That's why I get easily hurt when I think veterans. You know, it's just like, oh no, because veterans are my thing, right? You guys know it, you feel it, you felt it. Didn't matter. So
you know how a lot of officers segregate themselves and don't fraternize the troops. Lou is a grunt at heart, through and through. You know, he's all old school ground pounder. You know, that's all he'll ever be till he dies. That he's comfortable in that skin. And you know, people like you, he just feels at home with, and he'll give everything he can to help any veteran that reaches out to him.
I was nervous as hell. I ain't gonna lie. I don't get nervous much because I've survived some shit, but that's about the only thing I was nervous from. I was like, I don't want to mess this up. I actually had a director with me.
We're gonna be on there with you. We'll help you do it.
Right on.
We promise. We'll walk in the park.
It'll be awesome.
It's gonna be fun. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be fun.
Xavier here, listening while at work. All right, that is awesome. Hey, everybody, put down where you're from. Let's see where you guys are listening from. As a reminder, anybody who donates $20 or more, super chats, or if you decide to go on to the link that I provided already in the chat to donate straight to the Wounded Warrior, folks, just let me know. My email address is right here. Email me right there. Give me your address, and I'll send a patch to you. It's the only way to get these because we don't have that many left. A lot of them went out with promotions. Now the next patch will be a little different. We're going to maybe doing some window clings and stuff like that. Let's see if I got a picture of that here. No, I don't. But that's what the one looks like. So yeah, that's super awesome. Wow. Let's see. People are responding. Look at that. Now I know you're from the UK. Now y'all deal with that. The euro over there. Do appreciate that donation that you made, NS. Really, really appreciate it. We got Michael is from North Idaho. What's the temperature there, Michael? Here, I can do this too. We got high tech stuff around here, folks, but I got to find my phone to do it. Who knows where it is? I think I lost my phone through my seats. Oh well. Someone Google what's the temperature in upstate Idaho. Everything's nice now. Finally. For right now, that really, even in Buffalo, is in the 60s, and my family. Oh my gosh! Stand by. I'm getting a phone call. Hey guys, I'm going to step out and get this phone call. Stand by. Hey, stand by.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I was sending you super chats. Rob, did you get that?
What's that?
I was
Yeah.
sending you a couple super chats to add to it.
Oh, I see that. Oh, cool.
So I'll send it. Let's see.
And Shannon gets back, he can kick up the bells and whistles, but I have no clue how to do that from here.
That's all right. No, it's all right. No big deal. No big deal.
I could pull out this Aztec Mayan death whistle and blow, but I don't think I want my dogs bursting in the door and trying to rip me apart. They used to blow these going into battle and terrify their enemy and just make them completely abjectly horrified and then just go and mop up the mess because it sounds like a roaring jaguar.
North Idaho, Michael Elwell. How did you know? You were spot on with Horse Heaven Hills. That's exactly where. Exactly. That's crazy. He's even said that. The exact spot. Wild. You must know things. I don't know. That's crazy that you said that. It's like, wow, that's wild that you even said that because Yakima Valley's pretty big. So, actually, Rob, I was going to tell you too. You were one of the first people I actually like one of the first three people I met on here. I still remember that. Trying to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, you're pretty much an unknown, and I was telling you, I'll help, but I've got vision problems. I'm not really good at. I can't tell what I'm looking at, so I really can't articulate. But that's what we were talking about was me getting it to the right people. You want me to reach out to lure somebody.
Yeah, I just trying to figure
out
out what's going on.
And with him, he's so busy. It's not that he doesn't want to help. It's just he's just really oversaturated. So you have to kind of pick a lull in the storm when you can get his attention to try and go on something like this. He's always open for it if he can, but it's just really you got to be surgical, and it's a delicate balance. And I try to be extremely judicious with his time.
Oh yeah,
But
no, I get it.
Things, he is excellent at helping render and identifying the best, bringing out the best textures to your pictures in your film, and it's not enhancing as in adding pixels that aren't there or details. It's taking what's there under different lighting spectrums and seeing how you can filter it with what is in the original environment. You're not creating something new. It's not using software that's gonna be predictive and add in details that don't belong there. Some people seem to think when you do that, did it automatically just distorts it, and it adds artifacts that weren't in the picture or aren't on the true object in the camera and lens that you took. But that's not the case, at least not in the process the way Shannon does it, because he's really careful to make sure that he doesn't cross over with that, and then it completely nullifies all the work he's done with it. He wants it to be completely original. He wants to be correct, not. He doesn't want to be sensational. He wants to be factual.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right.
Like you told me, I filmed stuff out here before and come in and called him up in the middle of the night. Hey, look, you guys see this, man? It's just the bomb. And he's like, you idiot. That's that's the space station. You woke me up for that? Try again. I mean, he didn't pull punches.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hilarious.
Hey, real quick. Hey, I know my wife's listening. In the chat, Tara, of the YouTube, you can click on, there's a little $, super chat that money right there. That's how you super chat. She's trying to figure out how to super chat. She was going to send you guys that money. Keep trying, girl. If you can't, bring it to me. Oh, you sticker. She did a sticker. You're good.
Okay.
So there you go. That's my donation, our donation. I won that last night at the casino. I joked with my friends. I was like, because I prayed to my alien avatar overlords, and they gave me the actual which one I need to go to and pull the lever. I also need to shout out one more time my co-host Toby and Mike. Man, they're like my best buddies. Chase, all these guys who've been helping me with this UFO Twitter Astral, all the guests and stuff. I mean, they're doing this for Wounded Warrior Project. That's the cool part, man. Every bit of their fame or however people come in is helping them. So it's been amazing. So I'm very thankful to them, my podcast bros, everybody that hangs out with me, all the space people, Logan, everybody. Shout out to all y'all. Friends, man, they helped me out quite a bit, just like you, man, from Twitter. How do you think about that? Only people I really talk to is from UFO Twitter.
I think everything, because you know when you go through very traumatic experiences in any demographic, it doesn't have to be combat, it doesn't have to be war, but when you go through things with people that were cohesive enough to work together to go through it, you develop a bond with them to last for a lifetime. And it's vitally important not to allow yourself to get isolated and then have a major malfunction and you don't recover from it. If there's a fine line, and
for a minute
better than I do, there's a certain point, a progression of steps that if you allow yourself to keep taking them, there's a certain threshold that once you take that one more step, you're stuck in a downward spiral that you can't rationally ever pull yourself out again without external help. You've hit a terminal velocity. If someone doesn't catch it and pull you back out, you can't self-correct after that point because you don't realize anymore how far you're in it. And then everything is completely black. You have no more hope left.
Yeah, I lost my bearings for a minute. I can tell you that. Got them back though, trying.
That was the first thing I told you, wasn't it? Was, I can help you with the UFO stuff, but if you need to talk to me the rest of it, here's my number. Give me a call. And you did. I mean, we talked.
Yeah, you even offered to help me out before I went to Boston with that last Wounded Warrior trip. I was appreciative too, man, because it's a hard world.
We've been texting before we started that and stuff to make sure you were squared away. I wasn't gonna abandon you.
No, I appreciate that too. And yes, the Twitter space will be for everybody once it happens.
Yeah.
Hey, did y'all see that, folks? Did y'all see that? Wait a minute. I got to get the right one. Hey, thanks, man, for the super chat, man. I do appreciate it. Let me get that back up there. Bam. Oh, that's
no problem.
Hey, I know that guy right there. Thank you very much.
Trying to figure out.
Oh, by the way, you too get a pat. So you got my phone. Text me your address. I'll send this out tomorrow.
We're sending it to your guys' fundraiser right now. Yep.
Bam.
So, yeah, she couldn't forget to super chat, so send them money, 200, please. Thank you very much. My grandkids are over, so she's trying to do both. That's my granddaughter, brand new granddaughter. Cooing.
That's a hell of a Christmas.
Did you hear about my baby?
Mm.
I found out 4 years ago this spring that I have a 32-year-old son.
Really?
Yeah, I have a 32-year-old son that I never knew about.
When just this spring?
No, 4 springs ago.
Oh, right on.
4 years ago, I found out that I was a father.
Have you guys talked much, or?
Oh yeah, he looks just like me.
Wow, that's cool. Because
about 18 years younger.
See, that's actually I'm opposite. It's funny. No, not funny. I guess one of my traumas, I guess, guilt was I have a daughter I haven't seen. She's since when I got sick. She ended up. I let her stepdad adopted her because I got sick. I was on the streets, so don't blame anybody for that. So opposite on that. I don't. That's amazing. I'm happy for you, dude. Super.
Yeah. It was. It's been a neat experience. The day I found out, it's one for the books. See if I can find it. Hold on. I think I have pictures of it. Not the day I found out. Let's see. No, that's not it. It's right here. Talk amongst yourselves.
I bet you that tickled the heck out of you. I mean,
yeah, it tickled my wife too. She wanted doing all the counting.
Let me see here.
Yeah, no, that was he was born while I was in the Navy. When I first joined the Navy.
That's cool. Did you was his wife military or civilian?
I
mean, his wife.
My first wife.
I'm talking about his mom. That's what I meant.
No, his mother. Yeah, I was seeing her before I joined the military.
Okay. Okay.
No, that's not that one.
Right on.
But anyway, let me tell you what I took a picture of. It's going to blow your mind. So I found out while I was staying at a Disney resort, my family's spoiled. They go to Disney a lot. I just go around with my scooter and take pictures and stuff. But I've got a bunch of great photos of Disney. But we were walking. I had a DJI right here. I had one of these, a DJI Action Mobile, right?
I have one of those too.
I got my phone. Oh yeah, love it. I love DJI. I got drones. I've had like most of their drones too.
Right there, buddy.
Yeah, man, I love it. So I'm walking down Main Street, USA, rolling 4K video, and I'm praying. I hope lightning strikes the castle, right? Because there's a storm coming, and it was lightning. It's like, well, I know they got lightning rods on top of this castle, and along with everything else that's high up in the air. Start looking around and notice them. And I caught lightning striking the castle.
Wow.
The cool thing about that was at that same moment, there was, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called lightning runners, where you have like lightning coming from the ground and it's trying to make a connection with the lightning runners coming down. And what happens, the one with the least resistance, and they make a connection that completes the circuit. And all the energy that comes out of that cloud will come down and strike the earth. That's completing the circuit, right? So I have right in front of me was a husband and wife and kid in a buggy. And I got a lightning runner coming 15 feet straight up off of them. And then after that, I got one coming right off her shoulder twice.
Wow, what a catch, huh?
I know, man. I got the video. I'll show you the video. I got the pictures and the video. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's like, I need to do this more often. So I just love photography.
I'm just starting out though. I mean, learning and getting stuff and trying to figure out what's what. But yeah, I love it.
The way you get good is just get your ass out there and take pictures.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time near Rainier, so I like to prospect too. Sounds crazy. Became obsessed.
And shoot raw, man.
Obsessed with gold and platinum. I'm pretty good at it too. Once I had my experience, I'm obsessed, and that's all. I like going up there and going. Literally have all the equipment, and I'll spend my time just prospecting like a crazy man, taking pictures and video.
Hey, y'all want to see something cute? Look at this. There's my puppies laying on the couch.
They
There's Blue. Hey, Blue.
They passed out.
Yeah.
Cozy. What's the weather like there?
What's the temperature here, darling? It is like almost 60 degrees here. So wow. Yeah, we're back to shorts again.
Yeah, it was kind of, we had that false spring too. Like it warmed up slightly, everything melted. We had like 2 weeks of solid ice and snow, and then everything melted. And now it's just wind.
Yeah, we had like 20 below for about 3 days here. It was awful last week. I had to drive about 5 hours in that freaking blizzard. It wasn't fun.
I think I looked at Wyoming weather around that time. It was like 40 below. It was crazy cold there in Wyoming. That was, I guess it got worse as I got back from Colorado, because it was really cold and snowy there and everything. But I got back here, it started getting really cold like a week ago. What's up, baby? Oh my God. Breaking news. Sad news. Hold on. Ah, man, this is heartbreaking. Stand by. Barbara Walters has passed away.
Oh, that's terrible.
She was how old? 93.
That's terrible.
So unfortunate.
That's Richard Butt's still listening. Tell him what's up.
Oh, he is.
He's one of my favorite people too. He's such a good person. He actually helped me quite a bit. I'll never be able to thank him. His anonymous ass. I'll never be able to thank his anonymous ass.
Yeah. He was the one why I had to get off the phone, because he was trying to help me look for my phone by calling my phone, but he doesn't know that this is This is a MacBook Pro, so his phone call came across my laptop.
Mhm.
But people think they know who he is. They don't have a clue, So to honor Mr. Butt, I actually have a sock puppet account. That's a new term. I'm whatever. It's Dick Butt. I'm known as Dick Butt on it's my sock puppet.
I just talked to him on Christmas.
He did.
He's a hell of an ally, and he's a hell of a friend.
Yep.
I mean, you couldn't find a more loyal friend.
Good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's firm, but he's fair, and he's also can be a riot. So he's got a sense of humor. And just you got to treat him fairly. People think just because they have he works in the government and he's got TS clearance that he's a jerk and he's open for a speed bag like Lou and stuff. They dehumanize those people, and it's not fair to them. It's like with Lou and them. They think that he's living the high life and they have a gated community with armed guards and they're safe and they're eating caviar every night and living a good life. No, he's in the middle of nowhere with his wife up in Wyoming. His family has been threatened so many times because of this for reprisals, including dirt naps. And he's doing all this for the American people, but the community he thought would embrace him, it had turned on him too. So they kind of feel like, they're not seeing the love. But from their vantage point, they don't see from the ground level like we do the perspective of how many people actually do support them. They only normally hear about the people that don't, that are making a lot of noise on Twitter or something, and it's unfortunate. I'd really like to find a way to better show, not ongoing maybe, but not every day, or even if somebody has any ideas of how we can do some kind of a show of appreciation here and there for him, to let him know that his efforts aren't in vain. And
I've got appreciation for him. Actually, I just have. Actually, I can get it to you guys to get to him. I have a flag that I flew in both wars, and I have the certificates that I wanted to give to him. One for Richard Butt.
There you go. It's
one for Lou. So I've got I've got 5 of them. I just don't have a way to do either of those guys. It'd be cool. So you guys could help.
We'll get that to him.
All right, cool. I'll get the shadow box together for it.
We can get it to him too.
I'll get the shadow box together for it. I have the flags, have the certificates, the pictures of me and everything with them. So both Iraq and Afghanistan, they were flown. It's one of those things, you just keep them as you go and you just keep flying around. So, I forgot about them.
I tell you what, I guess I can speak on behalf of anybody who gets an American flag and then finds out it's where it's been. Huge appreciation. Lou would. I want to speak for Lou. He would be almost speechless and very. He might be listening right now. It makes
it even easier for me to get it because that was the plan.
But
it would go on a prominent spot on his wall in his office. I guarantee you that.
He that's exactly what he would say. That would go in a place of honor.
That's.
I don't mean to speak for Lou, but I believe that's what he would say.
We know his sentiment. Listen, that's what he does. That's who he is, and and it really. I guess that's why I threw in so hard on this, is because, I know it's like to be underappreciated, undervalued, and bullied, basically, for the people you're trying to save. And he thought of all communities, the UFO community that he's doing the most help for, this is what they wanted, that they would turn on him like this and be so savage and hateful. But, I've tried to understand, and I've thought about this a lot of time. I've done a lot of research on it too, that, a lot of them people in UFO Twitter are not grounded well in a lot of respects. So they're looking for a better way, and if they don't have a solid faith structure in anything, I don't care if it's God, Buddhism, it doesn't matter. You need to believe in something to give you hope. And when they have no hope and they think that something fundamental is going to come for the better out of disclosure, they inadvertently made him the Messiah of that cause. And when it didn't happen to their liking fast enough, then they turn on him. And
you're right. You're right. And it's bullshit. Excuse my language.
He's not their
Yeah.
savior. He's there to
Yeah.
help them, give them a solid. And the people that call him a liar and a grifter and things, over Doty and Susan Go, I mean, what the hell? That was their job,
Yeah.
psyops.
So it bothered me so much because I did everything I was asked and I got super sick because of it. And then the way people treated me for a minute with
Mhm.
sometimes no compassion. I was just an addict or this or that without any regard to why,
Yeah,
I had no control. No, I didn't choose at 34 to do this shit right on my own. It just happened. No one says, hey, I'm going to burn a $200,000 house on everything because I just want to do this shit. No. And people say, yay, patriotism until it's out of sight, out of mind, or people, they reward you for things. And I feel so bad for what he went through. Matter of fact, I was so worried about causing bullshit with him that I would go overly to say, nah, you don't want to deal with this, because the thing that you had made a comment about UFO Twitter, it can be toxic. But the thing is,
Mhm.
we're doing some good shit with it. Good stuff. Not all of
Yes,
us.
we
I mean,
are. Definitely we
super
are.
positive. We're so focused on this. I'm working my butt off. Like another example, Toby's in here, right? So became a friend. This UFO Expo in March. My podcast is going to be live. I'll be speaking there, and I'm not getting paid. I do this because I'm an experiencer, and it helps other people, like other experiencers. The podcast, Lou, have helped me before, because not everybody comes forward with this stuff. So I'm very thankful to stuff like that. And Tom Reed, I met him the other day. He's cool.
Yeah, somebody just put in the chat. Toby Martinez said, Shannon, Tom Reed says, hello. Hey, man.
Oh yeah,
You're on the
that's my
phone with him right
podcast
now.
guy. That's my buddy Toby. He's on the podcast with him and Mike.
Yeah,
He
he
works
said,
at the Roswell Daily Record.
Yeah.
he said he's on the phone with
Yeah.
Tom Reed right now, and
Yeah.
and he said to say hello to you, Shannon.
Yeah.
So
Hey Tom, I got your phone number, and I'll be texting you soon about setting up. I'll have my people contact your people about setting something up, and we'll have you on the show soon.
we sent you that 200 to your fundraiser as well. So
Awesome.
All right, let me take a look.
That's
Awesome.
that's why I won it at the casino. I know it.
In fact, I think I saw Tom Reed at a casino recently on Facebook. So, hey, Tom, if you were quite lucky there at the slots, come over here, and you can get, if you go to that one site, you probably get a tax deferment or something, tax exempt on some earnings that you may or may not have to claim on the next income tax. Yeah, donate Wounded Warrior Project. It's a good cause.
Definitely.
I've lost you guys. Here it is.
He wouldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for Wounded Warrior. And
no, I wouldn't be alive.
That means everything.
I would not be alive.
Yeah, they I actually have PTSD from dealing with the VA. It was such a nightmare. There's an ongoing joke that my wife and I have had since we no longer deal with the VA. But hey, anything in the mail today from the VA, honey? No? Okay. We even do that today as a joke because it was such a nightmare dealing. I know my wife has PTSD from it too.
Oh.
I know
I get it.
My wife is awesome. But the Wounded Warrior Project, after dealing with the VA for so long, and I finally got a hold of somebody at the Wounded Warrior Project, and it took one phone call that they made, and I was able to get my 100% disability, and I don't have to ever be evaluated through the VA. It's permanent, and I got some of the stuff. The money was retroactive, so I was able to pay off the car and stuff like that. So that really helped out. And knowing that my family and I are taken care of for the rest of my life, the quality of life, because I was sweating it. I can't breathe. I was drowning. My lungs were filling up with fluids constantly. I'm not trying to gross you out, but here's a cup of tea. But if I had a guess on how much junk was in my lungs a day, it would be that much that I would have to cough up. You hear about people drowning in a tablespoon of water or what.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's how much I had. I had over a quarter of a cup, almost 2/3 of a cup of phlegm in my lungs that I have to bring up every day. And trying to find a job, I couldn't get into the law enforcement. I couldn't become a JSO, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. I couldn't go work for them because I had rheumatoid and lung disease. So I was backed in a corner. I did go to college. I used my GI Bill. I got my degree as a surgical tech, and I also took classes for Photoshop and vector graphics and stuff like that. And that opened up the world. I just love photography. I was thinking about just having photography videos here one day if anybody was interested, and talking about how awesome I ought to be a salesman for the Nikon P1000. That's for sure. I just love that camera.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you like it as well. So
I do. I do. And I will agree with you as well on the VA. So one of the things I'm guilty about is I survive a system that a lot of people don't, especially I've lost so many friends between OD, suicide, things like that. And the VA to come out on alive and wits about me, that'd be my wife right there. She's Tara. With my wits
awesome.
about me, knowing all the cracks in the VA. Because again, here's an example of stuff that I just one time. So one of the things they do is they send out letters to a population that has a big homeless group in it, right? Veterans tend to have a homeless population that's big. They send letters to their homes that they're going to take their benefits if they don't sign this. So they don't get the letters. And these homeless people who are already homeless lose their benefits with no way to get them back and nothing like that. No one cares, no way to fix it. That's what happened to me. No one gave a crap, right? Wounded Warrior fixed it really quick, right? It was when I first got out, part of my problem, the PTSD came from the VA making me think, no, you're sick because you're sick. It's not us. You're not a combat vet, this and that. I had a decoration for valor and they fought me. I didn't know that because I was so sick. They fought me and they were just making me think I was crazy and I felt like crap, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't know I had the valor decoration until I found it years later coming out of an envelope. And that would have opened, but no, they fought me the hell out of it. They knew that. It was on my forms. And they still made me feel kind of, and I just, because they treat it like it's theirs, like it needs fixed. It's a bureaucracy and it's not okay.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Rob what medal was put in for me, and it was one of the highest medals you can think of. It was underneath the Congressional Medal of Honor, but it was above the Bronze Star. That's and awesome, it was put in for me, and I didn't get it. And I got something real low, but that's okay. I have something. I have the citation that talks about what I did, and I was the same conversation I was telling Rob that I never once put a medal in for myself. Every ribbon, every medal that I got was given to me, because there's people in the military, you may have come across them, that every time they pick up a broom and they sweep something, they're putting in the Navy Marine Corps medal on themselves or something. I don't give a shit about that. I've never done that. Yeah, I tell you what, there's some people it's political, and that's the only way they feel like they would get it, and it's fine. A lot of great people do that. It's just not my style. I just couldn't do it.
Before I got sick, I realized too now. I mean, it was my niche, the military. That's why I never got in trouble. I excelled at following orders, doing the right thing. Everything that they asked of you. My country put that first. But when I got sick and I left, that's part of. If you read the book by Sebastian Younger, it's called Tribes. It talks about that disconnection when you leave the service. I know it now. That was huge. I just felt alone constantly, and it was just killing me, right? And that was part of my PTSD, was this going from being with these brothers and sisters where they're saying, hey, you two sit in that foxhole, you're going to bleed and die together, to, okay, you're on your own, guys. Have fun.
Yeah.
Right. And that was hard. I didn't know it. That really messed me up.
And it's a whole different.
Hey,
there's no service to help you.
Check this out, folks. Hey, NS, hey, thanks for the additional 10 euros, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
Also, please, if you haven't already, contact me here at Shan D. Scott. Write this down, please. Give me your address. I would love to send you a very limited edition Shannon Scott's annual Vets and Vets for Wounded Vets and Pets. It's going to be a big year. 2023 is going to be a big year for them, I feel. All right. Thanks again.
Warrior Project.
I just looked at the earnings for Wounded Warrior, for Shannon Scott Channel Vets and Vets for Wounded Vets and Pets, and we have a total of $414 raised. So we are over I know we're over $500 easily.
Nice.
520, I'm guessing 530. I have to do the tally later, but wow, that's awesome. Lou told us when he did the that last interview with us, and it really wasn't an interview, it was more like just friends talking. That $10, $20 goes a long way when it comes to St. Francis Animal Shelter. And yeah.
Good.
So
I got me a Doberman and a German
Shepherd. We're going to make a big difference for them too. So if you love vets and you love pets,
I do.
There you go.
Best of both worlds. Man's best friend.
The problem I see, honestly, with getting money like this, maybe it's just because I'm not used to people donating to a charity. First of all, it blows my mind every time that a charity's been named after me. Rob and Lou named a charity after me. That freaking blows my mind. I wake up to that reality every day. And when people are now donating it
that's cool.
To it, it gets me a little teary-eyed a little bit. And I try not to cry. I'm a 52-year-old man. It gets me, man. It freaking I remember when Jerry Lewis, remember those telethons? And someone gave him a check, and he just couldn't control himself. He would just cry. I know what that feels like now, for $10 or 10 euros here, which it comes out to probably like $15. Man, that's going to go a long way for vets and St. Francis Animal Shelter. It's a non-kill shelter. Yeah. All right. Let me stop talking about this.
We're actually going to make it a 501c3 permanent. We're going to make it permanent. And that way, any money donated, we'll have a link that we can go up here, and it goes straight into the charity, and they get a tax, deduction for it, and it's all automated, and we don't touch it.
Because what happens when you do super chats, I mean, I like them. Don't get me wrong. The thing is that a little tiny percentage goes to the process of money transfers, right? So if we, this is, I'm not going to complain that we have this.
Not at all.
Just that if you want to donate a large sum, like $50 or $100 or $1 million, I would go to the link, because every penny and cent will go to that. And also, I'll know who did that, and I'm able to communicate through this website that I put the link here, and I'll put it on there for the third time. I'll put it there on the third time as soon as I copy it again. But here we go. Boom, boom, copy. Back to StreamYard right here, folks. Boom. And I have an opportunity to actually write the person back and thank them, which I will. And I'll obviously ask for your address if I could send you a patch. So it'd be my honor. Okay. I got that off. Got that off my mind.
So have you had anybody else look at your videos and your film and give you any kind of an evaluation yet?
No, I mean, I'll send them off this, send them to you guys, whatever. No, gladly. Just not really. Actually, I haven't even posted myself, because like one of the reasons I hadn't posted them, like besides witnessing with other people, like using the apps, whatever, and then they come out with all these news reports like a Hanford, they're having it, and then I have no interest. I know something's here. There's no longer of trying to convince people. Now I'm just trying to be here
Yeah.
for people that are having the experience and to try to convey that message. But yeah, I'll gladly do it now. I just haven't. They're 4K 60 frames a second too. I don't know what it is. Can't tell you.
Toby says he's asked the Roswell Daily Record to donate to all of our fundraisers. Hey, more the merrier. Thank you very much.
That's my boy Tony. How about call him Tony? That's my best friend Tony. I'm Toby. He's on my podcast. He's actually one of the runs that reached out to me and started the whole thing of me being here right now, the whole kick and shebang with him and Mike. So I'm grateful. He works at the Roswell Daily Record, and
somebody's got a lot of fire under you.
Yeah, and he has too. I was like, all right, you know what? I can't be doing more than just sitting and doing nothing. So I'm actually doing the fundraisers and stuff, thanks to a kick in the pants by all of them, including Tara, my wife, and lots of people in here. You guys included. I mean,
the worst thing
I've known who you guys are for a minute.
The worst thing you can do for PTSD is to sit idle. That is their worst enemy. The idle mind.
Can you hear my grandson screaming?
You will talk yourself into the most horrible crap.
Yes.
You keep moving, thinking forward. You just can't fall into that trap. It's a vicious cycle. Once you start slipping down that slope, it takes a little bit to think your way back out of it.
Nope.
So, I just had to set a firewall in my mind that there's just a wall of I won't allow myself to feel sorry for myself. I've not been in combat like you, but I've definitely had my trials. I can't think about it. There's not some things you don't heal from. You just have to learn how to live with. And even then, some things you have to live with, you have to put it in a box somewhere in your mind and never open it. And when you catch scents or sounds or something that rattles that lid, you gotta have mechanisms in place to to smash it back shut as fast as possible, and not entertain the thought of opening it and feeling sorry for yourself and let that despair monster out again. You can't do it.
Hey, we just got a message from a Shelly Scott. I wonder who she is. Oh, that's my spouse. She sent me something here. Richard Butt said something. Hold on. Okay.
That's my grandson.
Stand by. No, that's fine. That's cool. Well, this is Richard Butt's. If you don't know, that's him right there, folks. And he did a tweet or a retweet of us. Let's see.
Oh, that's sweet, Katie.
Yeah, there it is. From
Thanks,
Katie
Richard
Holland. Proud of you for all your advocacy for wounded warriors at Old Vet Symposium. We're lucky to have you in this community. That is freaking awesome. Look at there.
It is. It makes me feel good.
Hey, we're doing something good, man.
Yeah, we are.
We keep stuff like that, just keeps me going.
Right back.
Keeps me motivated.
Yes.
Motivated, yeah.
Things are nothing to me. It's all about people. If I can't.
Hey, Cliff.
If I can't help ease somebody else's suffering, I'm not living. I'm not doing my job.
No, you're right. That's half my problem right now. I've been sitting for years with this pandemic, with this experience, and all I thought about is veterans and how I can help. I survived, and what for? To be nothing, nobody, no platform, and here I am. I don't care. I'll go to my grave doing every bit. I don't care how much it is, as long as it goes to the right people and helps the right people, because I promise you, some of that care, I would not be here. I would not. There's no doubt in my mind.
Shane, you going to the UFO Expo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. When's that going on?
In March. Toby, type that up in there. It's in. Okay. I can't remember the actual date.
I'm going to try to go.
Be live at the podcast.
I'm getting healthier as time goes on.
I hope that'd be cool.
And I'll find out if I go, and we'll hang.
That'd be awesome.
I get to go there. Yeah. Also, Toby says, you say you know Toby, huh?
Yeah, he's my buddy, my best buddy.
Okay.
You're the Mike podcast guy. He's on the podcast
right
with me.
Toby says UFO Expo has donated tickets to what's VetX?
VetTix? Oh, I'll explain.
Oh, VetTix.
Is
all
awesome.
right, because we support our vets.
You guys know VetTix?
Awesome. No, what is it?
Oh, you guys can sign up for it for any veteran.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is people donate tickets to them. So all concerts, comedians, everything like a UFO Expo, and they give them away to veterans for free. You just gotta, I want this one. You try to click on it, then they send you the ticket. So I was in Boston with home base with Wounded Warrior. One of the vets actually did vet ticks and went and watched the Red Sox play while we were there. I was like, damn, I didn't think about that. So donate free tickets. He had a nice box. He had actually box seats up there too. So people just donate them if they're not going to use them or because we're veterans. So it's free for veterans and vettix.com.
Well, I can't go into detail, but I was sent some awesome tickets. Blink 182 in Tampa.
Dude, that's so cool. I grew up on Blink 182.
Blink 182, brother.
I remember. Well, actually, I went into the military. That was my favorite band when I went into the military. 2001.
It's not just that, brother. It's a lot more than that. I'll tell you later.
Oh, you know Tom? Awesome. Have you met Tom?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
At Expo. But I'd like to go to the Expo.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We should. I'd be awesome to meet any of you guys. It always is, though. Especially, it always fills my heart when I meet another veteran. So,
absolutely.
Me and my little rascal. See, I have an ongoing joke in the family. Back when I first married my wife, I said one of these days. I don't know if you remember this, a long time ago, like 20 plus years ago. There was a commercial that would come on, like in the daytime, soap operas and stuff, and it was a commercial for Little Rascal, the little scooter, right? And it had this old lady. She's finally getting out of the house, and she goes and visits the Grand Canyon. And there's this aerial shot of her with her little scooter right next to the Grand Canyon. And I said, honey, one of these days I'm going to get me a scooter, a Little Rascal scooter, and I'm going to the Grand Canyon. And now I have a mobility device, so that's the ongoing joke now that I'm going to go visit the Grand Canyon.
Well, I actually have mobility issues too. I have to have my left hip replaced. Just from my duty in the military, in and out of those trucks, whatever, and it sucks because the pain. But I'm so young, they're like, just try to put it off. That's actually why I stand instead of sit, because it feels way better than sitting for me right now. But then again, it's harder for me to walk.
I've done about a dozen of those procedures too. I've done total hip replacements. I've done total knees.
Wow, I gotta have my left probably knee as well.
The funny thing about
doing I had done a couple of years ago.
A total hip, when they take this this instrument, they actually pop that your ball out of the socket, and there's a suction sound every time. So that happened to you too. I know, it's amazing. And then when they do cut it up, they put the ball, the ball and the part of the femur on my Mayo stand, my tray. So I'm looking at it. I'll pick it up and look at it and go, yeah, they had arthritis, or they're grinding, man. That looks painful.
Yeah, what's funny is
I've held those in my hand a lot.
I haven't had mine done yet because I'm scared shitless because I was a former addict. Well, I'm a former addict, so I'm worried about them putting anything in my body and re-triggering that whole addiction thing. So my wife's like, you gotta have it done, and I'm just scared about any drugs in my body. Period.
Yeah.
So it's just
as long as just tell them about it and have somebody watch you.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. I'm just being a big old panty waste. That's all it is. I guess. We band of brothers. That's right, Michael.
We've got the best fans on this channel. You got them on yours too. You got the best ones there.
Yeah,
they're very supportive.
Yes,
extremely
family.
Now, yeah, we do. I don't know if you do, but do you get any bots?
I haven't got any yet.
We
don't have that whole lot of people yet. I think you probably got more than us. We just started.
I'm not feeling the love. The robo-hoes haven't showed up lately, but
yeah, they call them robo-hoes. Trying to sell their peddle their porn on my channel, and then that's why we give everybody. Oh, by the way, Rob, tell them about how delinquent you are of giving out those blue wrenches.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm having a lot of computer problems lately, and even the new one, it works great, but I have to put a little more RAM in it. So I have not been able to give out wrenches as much as I need, but I will go in and There's a lot of people that I'm needing to add to the Blue Ranch community, so don't think you're gonna be left out. I'm just slacking, so that's what's up.
Awesome.
I'm going to say to Tara, shout out to Tara, you need to get your grandkids before I start sending those grandkids upstairs.
Knock a knot on their heads.
Yep.
Yeah, they down here going crazy.
Guys, I'm
Bob
gonna wrap
Burke.
this
Hey,
up real
Bob. We
quick.
got Bob with us.
Bob is pure awesome. He is species unique, but man, I tell you, the guy, I just love, I love unique characters. And this guy is just he
He's a
doesn't
talented man.
he doesn't see him. He's just a really unique soul that just something about him. I just absolutely yeah.
Yeah, I'd be kind of
Full
impressed if he
words,
wasn't visiting us
really
every show.
connection there. So I understand him. It took me almost a year to get him to talk to me, and open up, as much as he does, which is, if you can get English out of him instead of French, it's an accomplishment. So, I felt privileged that he allowed me into his world. And he's a terrific guy.
The only
So-
French I know is what I've learned from Pepe Le Pew.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink real quick.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna have to wrap
what? I got a question for you, Rob. What are the goals? What do you want to see in 2023? Your personal goals, maybe, or for this subject of this phenomenon?
Well, my largest goal is to help my son overcome and adapt and thrive. Because
Yeah.
if that doesn't happen, everything else is just going to pale. But I'm hoping that we get some fundamental answers, and that it's going to lead to some things that will be beneficial to humanity. I'm not getting my hopes up. If we're not obliterated like Mars attacks, I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best. So anything
Yeah.
above that, it's a solid. So, but I think with the coming forward and the scientific community finally being shared what has been held back, I think it's going to geometrically expand quickly across a lot of demographics. And I'm not talking about quite technology so much, even as it is just fundamentals that may not have been out there that are what. So like string theory, there's some of the things that was put out there to keep scientists that weren't read in, with busy work, so you didn't get fixated on the truth of how to, pursue anti-gravity and limit,
Oh,
limitless
that's awesome.
energy to the green. So, I do see that there can be some. I don't expect it to be overnight. I don't expect it to be profound. I do expect it's going to be measurable and in a positive direction.
Right. Right. So the question that I just asked Rob, I'll ask you, Shane, is what's your do you have any personal goals for 2023, or do you what's your forecast for this phenomenon for this upcoming year?
2023. So I do actually. This is me at the start. This is me just starting to be a human, to give back, be part of the solution rather than the problem. So 2023 is going to be pretty amazing for me, hopefully for everyone else, because I plan on paying back at least 70-fold in the amount of damage I did, no matter how that occurred, right?
Yeah.
One who grows up knowing right from wrong and then gets so sick they do wrong and then gets better and realizes how wrong that was. And then all of a sudden the little stuff doesn't matter. The important stuff is life, family, friends, veteran, country, God. Those things are not necessarily in that order, but you realize all that small crap's not important. So 2023 is going to be the first year that I have not only drive, but focus. And something to look forward to, lots to look forward to, friends, a community, regardless how toxic some of them can be. They've helped me just like you guys. I mean, you're part of that community, but you're not toxic like that. So it's like, yes, it sucks, but there's Lou, there's all this that's good about that I found. So it's going to be big. My podcast, the different conventions, my newest hobbies. I plan on making my own documentary about Yakima Valley and my experience. So, and my podcast with Mind Escape. So Roswell UFO Symposium. It's all good. I can't even begin to explain how I got here to all this good stuff because of my experience. Although it was terrible when I was going through it, I'm not gonna lie. Just it's wild how it shook me up enough that I realized that's not important. Drugs, all that crap that I was messing with. There's so much more that I wasn't even knowing. That's all I cared about was figuring out what it was. So I didn't care about all that crap that was just in my head anymore. Now it's the drive is okay, you're good, but there are people who aren't our veteran brothers and sisters. So that guilt eats at me.
We can't leave any of them behind. We can't.
No, that eats at me a little too much sometimes, I think.
Well, you're right. If you didn't feel compelled and a little guilty, then you wouldn't be feeling correct because you'd be desensitized. The fact that you're feeling compelled and a little under the gun, that's healthy.
Yeah,
that's very healthy.
Yeah, my personal goal is staying healthy and staying out of the hospital. I'm tired of being in a hospital. I mean, I have to tell you, the Mayo Clinic. If anybody gets sick, please say take me into the Mayo Clinic. Okay, don't go to the local hospital. Go to Mayo Clinic. Okay, because they'll keep you alive. Rob will tell you they will keep you. They kept me alive many times.
Oh yeah, they'll keep you alive.
Yeah,
they had to send me through a couple of mules, airmail with a couple of crows to get to civilization, and then find a way to get the 2,000 miles to the nearest Mayo Clinic.
I'm trying to get him to sell everything, right? Sell your home, sell the horses, sell the chickens. Come to Florida. I'll set you up in my bedroom because we're going to be home or apartment shopping for you. And then I'm kicking you out of the house and I'm getting you set up locally so you can go to Mayo Clinic because, I mean, if you don't have your health, right?
Yeah.
That's for real.
Yeah. This is knock on wood. This is the longest time I've been out of the hospital in over a year.
Frankly, after the Denver trip with you, I figured you were going to be laid out near death after that. I was just terrified for you to make that trip.
I know. You'll be terrified to know in 40 days I'll be at Shades of Green at Walt Disney World Resort again. And we know how the last 2 or 3 trips has been. But you know what? I have to live, man. I have to spend that time. It's a balancing act. I'm looking for going and not getting sick, and coming home healthy. And if I do, we'll just handle it there. But I cannot be the bubble boy. I cannot stay in my house 24 hours a day. I have to live with my family.
I do that. I'm home about 95% of the time, and most of when I get out is to go to doctor appointments. That's about it. That's what I do. Yeah, it's just too much pain, and it's not. Very little is worth it to have to get out and go. I pay a huge price for it all the time.
Yep.
So,
actually, Toby had made a comment. You should, Rob, Shannon, both of you should come on our podcast this year as well. The Roswell UFO Symposium. Me and Mike and Toby would love to have you guys. So
I will.
Awesome. This is actually the most comfortable I've been on a podcast, but I knew I would be with you guys, veterans. So I was like, it'll be cool.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not trying to speak for Lou. Lou can speak for himself, but this is something he may say. It's a brotherhood. It's we have something in common. I say that because he has said it to me.
Yeah.
That our commonality is that we served our country, and that we have we have a culture to ourselves.
And a bond.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a bond that's different that you can't find in the civilian world.
And it's not that they're any less important or that they have sacrificed less. It's just in different ways. And in any other demographic, we wouldn't fit in. It's no different, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not making light of civilians or other demographics. They all
I gotta
matter.
find
But
that limited power of attorney Lou gave me. I can't find it.
You want to know how
Dang
silly it is? I guess it's not silly, but how spot on you are with that comment, that brotherhood. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so disconnected from vets at times because of the world and the way I talked about earlier. But when I went to Wounded Warrior at home base in Boston, I got to meet Bob Pliskin from UFO Twitter.
mhm.
Made my heart feel good. I wasn't even sweating about going to a new place because I knew somebody that was a veteran that was going to be there. And then we
Yeah.
had lunch and it was amazing shit, right? And then I got to do it was 2 or 3 weeks of super intensive PTSD. I'm talking super. But as I left and I actually started getting depressed and I didn't realize why. Well, because I went
You
right back
missed
to that
it.
disconnection.
You
And even
missed
though
it.
it was super intensive, traumatic shit we were dealing with it together. And I didn't realize how awesome it was to be around other veterans, right? And
Yeah.
sharing stories and just swapping the bullshit that you do. That's amazing, cool shit because not everyone's experienced it. And no matter where you
Mhm.
go, what you do, I promise you, just knowing, oh, I'm a veteran. Oh man, you connect almost instantly. Oh, you've been through that bullshit, then, haven't you? You've done what you've been told, even though you didn't want to. So yeah, I get that. I'm a little probably too patriotic gung ho sometimes, all of us are.
I've done
I, you're
some
talking.
stupid things. I've been told to
Yeah.
swab up for you civilians. It's mop in the rain. I have been told
Oh
to
my
mop
God.
in the rain for you
That
civilian
stuff's so
folks.
silly.
That is crazy, man.
I
That
was at
messes with
basic
your head.
training and I came in I was this latrine queen. They called us that. Okay, don't anybody hate. They called us that. The latrine queen, the person cleans the bathroom. I left one of the toilet seats down. My TI comes in, wakes me up, drags me in the bathroom because I had to spend an hour lifting the toilet seat and dropping it and saluting it. I will never let you down again, sir. And then drop it, loosen it up. I will never let you down. An hour saluting the toilet seat. That's the shit that's so fun and amazing to talk about.
Or
So,
about splitting the mailbox when you mail a letter every time.
yep.
Toby wants to know
why am I so handsome?
why are you so handsome, Shane?
Because you have cataracts. You're drunk, perhaps.
Or
No,
both.
it's because Toby. We've talked about this. Alien DNA has been input in my body. I told you this. How many times?
Hey, we're coming up on 2 hours. Let's go ahead and get this all finished up, and
Yeah, I'm
we'll
getting
chit chat
after
after the
this.
show for a bit before we say
I'm
goodnight
about to sign off, guys.
to each other. But Rob, do you have any? I should ask Shane. Do you have any last words you want to tell folks this evening?
I just want to say, hey, I don't care where you do it, how you do it. Donate to their campaign for the Wounded Warrior program. Super chat. I hold spaces, and the reason I do is I'm an experiencer. It gives me a platform to talk about mental health and veterans and recovery, right? So you can check them out, my podcast and stuff. But I'm appreciative, Shannon, Rob, for having me. This was actually super fun. And Lou, if you're listening, Richard Butt, you guys are amazing.
Well, he's listening.
You guys are awesome.
Come back anytime, man. We'd love to have you back anytime.
I look forward to it. And you guys, we're going to have you on ours as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
No, God.
Yes, it would be fun.
Yes,
I always try to throw something in there. All right, Rob, any last words this evening?
Nothing I want to say on air because I'm kind of getting a massive headache and I don't want to cry on there, so I'm going to get out of here.
All right, brother. Hey, everybody, thank you for spending your evening with us. We do appreciate it. We appreciate all the super chats and we're now way over $500 for this year. We haven't even started this.
I'll be posting that link in my spaces as well with my, even though with mine, I'll have it that way when it's trending, both these links. So I don't care who it clicks on as long as it goes there.
Lou has a lineup, what we call an all-star lineup. And I can't mention any of the names yet, but holy smokes. I'll say that.
And we'll have you. We'll pull you in, man. You know, more the merrier.
Yeah. More the merrier. More the merrier.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section. And I guess we'll see y'all next time. Maybe tomorrow.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Notification just to make sure. All right. Good night, folks.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, all right. Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. You think they have any clue what's about to happen to them?
Oh, not a chance in hell. Good night.
Peace!